So when we talk about Gandanta, it means that the point where the uh, the juncture where the water and the fire signs meet. So at the end of Pisces and at the start of Aries, there is one Gandanta, and at the end of Cancer and at the start of Leo, there is another one. At the end of Scorpio and at the start of Sagittarius, we have the final one. Of all these Gandantas, the one which is at this juncture, where you have the Jeshta and the Moola meet, that place is a bigger Gandanta. So I'll just give you a couple of understandings of what Gandanta can mean. A lot of people are unnecessarily worried for Gandantas. Okay, so should you be worried about a Gandanta or not is an important question. Okay, so how do you look at it is, if let's suppose the slow moving planets, right, like the Jupiter, Saturn, uh, for that matter, any other planet, always all the planets are slow moving excepting Moon and the Lagna. Okay, if you have your Lagna cusp in the Gandanta, so what would the Gandanta mean? Is the last 55 minutes in the Jeshta or the Scorpio, and the first 55 minutes in the Sagittarius. These are the points of Vedanta. If there is a planet there, that's uh, I would say do not worry for it. I mean, you have to understand what would a Gandanta do. A Gandanta would mean usually a problem with the life. Okay, so if you have a planet there like Jupiter or Saturn, these are slow moving planets. They stay for quite long I mean, in the Gandanta. So there will be several number of people being born every minute. So common sense would say that Jupiter or Saturn being in Gandanta is the most easiest one. It has got no significance. You have to ignore it. However, if Jupiter or Saturn happens to be your Lagna Lord, yes, there is a little worry. However, for the life threat or subjected to abject poverty, these are two things which I have seen. I mean, some people may not agree that poverty may not come from the Gandanta, but I have seen a few situations wherein the person is a lot unfortunate, having a lot of unfortunate incidents. Such things also I have seen. Or maybe the father is having a lot of issues on the prosperity side or the financial side, or maybe he has some threat for life, etc. So general Gandantas, you have some planets here and there. It happens to be sixth lord or fifth lord or fourth lord or any other lord, excepting the first lord. I mean the Lagna lord. If the Lagna lord happens to be in the Gandanta, or its dispositor happens to be in the Gandanta, maybe uh, a little you have to be concerned about. However, not definitely a Gandanta for sure is going to give you havoc or take away your life or something. It's too difficult to say that unless you look at all the charts. So a lot of people are thinking just from the D1 thing, look, I have a planet in the Gandanta, I have an issue. If this happens between the Scorpio and the Sagittarius, that is when the Gandanta is real Gandanta. If you have it between the Pisces uh, and the Aries or the Cancer and the Leo, I have not seen them to be significantly giving anything. Okay, people can prove me wrong. You can get me some examples as we cover up all the nakshatras. We will start to do only examples. Okay, all right. So what we are going through in this thing is the Gandanta thing. Okay, so the first charana of Moola and the final charana of Jeshta. Not the whole padas are in the Gandanta, but you have to look at only the last 55 minutes in each of them. Okay, so 0 degree 55 minutes in the Moola, and the last 29 degree 05 minutes after that you have the Gandanta in Scorpio. So this Moola, the Nakshatra Moola, as we all know, we are all Indians, so it's the same word everywhere. Mool means the root cause, root reason. All these are the Moola. Okay, so the foundation is also a Moola because a tree stands on its roots. Roots are called as the foundation for a tree. Okay, it's the same thing. And what we have as deities in this is the Rakshasa. Okay. Do not be confused with the English words for Rakshasa because there is no proper English word for Rakshasa. I'll tell you the vyutpatti of the Rakshasa. I mean, how the word Rakshasa came. Rakshasa is someone who is doing Raksha. A Raksha can be done only by a Rakshasa. So what we all people think is Rakshasa is going to slay or kill. No, not necessarily every time. Rakshasa is a person deputed especially to protect people. Okay, that is the primordial duty of a Rakshasa. If you think, uh, how about Ravanasura or Hiranyakashyapa or anybody else, you also have such great things like the Prahlada. Okay, Prahlada is also a Rakshasa Vamsha. And also you have King Mahabali, the grandson of Prahlada. They are all have been great kings and who have protected people. So the primary duty of a Rakshasa is to protect people. Okay. So now you should have a different mindset for a Rakshasa. You should not be thinking like the simple English word a demon or a demon, whatever you way you would want to pronounce it. So it's not a simple demon. It is a Rakshasa who rules this. Its name is, or his name is Nirruti. Okay. The mantra is Nirrutyai Moolavarhini Pratibhanjantaha Parastat Pratishrunanto Avastat. Nirrutyai Moolavarhini Pratibhanjantaha Parastat Pratishrunanto Avastat. This is the mantra. Okay. As I said, we get into the introduction of the star as usual. We have the nakshatra deity as Nirruti, okay, the demon deity. Okay, first time somebody would, if it's a Westerner who would listen, "Well, how can a demon be a deity?" Yeah, demons as well are deities because we respect people who have shown good character, either from the Rakshasa side or from the deity side. And whoever had a bad character, we have always opposed it. Okay, that's how it is. So we do not endorse always good characters to deities, and we also do not support only bad characters to demons. That's not how we look at things. Okay. And believe me, this star is one of the best stars, I can tell you. I mean, across South India, a lot of people disrespect the girls, the brides who are of the Moola Nakshatra, and I mean, this is happening quite often here in the southern part of India. I'm not very sure about the northern side. If somebody is doing that, look, your girl is a Moola star, so we would not want our boy to be marrying her. That's a very wrong way of looking at it. Based on just the moon's star, if somebody's life has to be decided, their Jyotish Shastra would have died long ago. Okay, because there will be only 27 kinds of people, but it's not so. Okay. So Moola is an excellent star. Like all the 27 stars, you need to know how to make use of it. So equally, all the 27 stars are good. Equally, they are bad. I keep emphasizing on this. So just be of that neutral perspective looking at any star. Do not think a star, I mean, a planet being placed in one star is going to give you uh, is only going to give you a positive thing, but not a negative thing. No, it doesn't happen. So every star has got pluses and minuses. You have both of them because the world runs on Ruta. Ruta means order. Okay. There is always an order. Order in the sense you get 10 good things. It's a package wherein 10 good things and 10 bad things are bundled into the nakshatras and fed in. So you're born in any of the stars or any of the planets that you have. you always have the negative side of the star. So do not think somebody is more blessed and somebody is less blessed. That's the wrong way of looking at it. The right way of looking at something is, if you are blessed with something, if you're blessed with some star, then you have to know the energy of the star to make use of that energy to your benefit. Okay, that is how you have to look at it. So let's look at what this star, the Moola, has to offer, so that you understand what are the positive things that you can have from here and what negative things have to be avoided from here. Okay, in just two sentences, you would see there are two kinds of demons always, rather Rakshasas always in the Puranas. You have the Hiranyakashipa, the one who is disturbed the social order in the society, and also the cosmic order, like the Ravana. What did Ravana do? He has ordered all the planets to be in exaltation when his son was being born, the Meghnadha was being born. He has ordered, because he was controlling all the Dikpalas. He became the ruler of all the three worlds, and he started torturing these planets and said, look, Saturn, now you have to roll back and get into your exaltation point. Jupiter, you as well. Moon, you. Sun, you. So each planet, he has kept them in places where it is all exalted. So what did Saturn do? He just tried to make a step back and get into retrogression. The moment Saturn got into retrogression, the death was inevitable for him. Okay. So do not think immediately, don't jump into conclusions. Somebody has a Saturn retrogression, it means he's going to die. No, it's not that simple. Okay. Don't jump into conclusions with a few, just two words or one line. I'm a little afraid, because the moment I make some statement, people are going to jump over it and uh, make it a make it a biblical rule or something like that. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, for that particular horoscope where Saturn was the most important planet, Saturn just went back a little, started the retrogression motion. So that is when the death was for sure. Okay, so there are such kind of people like the Ravana and the Hiranyakashipa on one side, who were constantly praying Brahma and Shiva, but were constantly against Vishnu. Okay, so Moola, right? Moola means the foundation. Where did Brahma come from? Brahma is the son of Vishnu. So all the Rakshasas and the Devatas are the sons of Brahma, right? All these people, all the deities that we are talking about, Aditi's children, Aditi and Kashyapa. Kashyapa is the Brahma. Okay, Kashyapa is the Brahma once again for Diti as well, right? Because whoever takes part in the production of the offsprings, and when they populated the earth, they're all called as Brahmas. So right now we are also Brahmas. That's why there is a popular saying, Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, so because we are trying to populate the earth, and we are trying to keep the earth working, or we are trying to keep ourselves being on the earth. So there are two kinds of people, as I said. One are trying to oppose Vishnu, the root person, and there are other kind of people who are constantly, worshipping Vishnu, the root. Okay, that is what you will understand from these Rakshasas. All right. The symbols of this is reticulated roots, elephant's gourd, and a lion's tail. So let me just cover up these symbols first. So reticulated roots would mean, the roots are entangled to each other. They are like a web. Okay. So what these people do, the Moola people, they always look at the root thing. Okay. If the root is good, it means that the plant is good. So any problem comes up, they quickly will search or go whether the basics are right or not. A lot of people, when you do things right, you go to an office. This old man would be there, a senior person. If something goes wrong, right, he immediately rocks back and says, "Look, have you got all your basics right?" This is a usual American saying when you work at American places. Have you got your basics right? Is the usual question. So these are such kind of people. So if your basics are right, it means that the result has to come. So if the result has not come, it means that your basics are wrong. Okay, that is what these people are focused on. So they're looking at whether the basics have come right or not. In anything, whatever they do, they always check the basics are right. So Moola Nakshatra natives are ruled or managed by a big man, and also they could be leading a big, large team. Okay. So another thing is female dogs, and dogs are very good at nurturing the children. So do not think demon as a demon thing here. So it's a deity as well. It's a demon deity because it rules the southwest thing is the Nairuti, right? So it's the same thing. And the lion's tail is providing balance and stability. So the only problem that they have in Moola's life is not able to strike up balance, or they're struggling to strike balance in the life because their life is full of turns and twists, and we'll get into those intricacies in a few minutes. This is a Tikshana Nakshatra. Okay, this is sharp and dreadful. So what is important in Moola is getting your basics right. What does basic would mean is following the dharma, because this is the first nakshatra of a Jupiterian Rashi. Till now, whatever we have covered, we have not covered a Jupiterian Rashi. This is the first Jupiterian Rashi. What would Jupiterian Rashi would mean is Jupiter is known to follow dharma. Okay, if your dharma is right, what does dharma mean? Righteousness. As long as you're right morally, ethically, etc., okay, then the Jupiterian Rashis are going to give you good results. If the dharma is going wrong, then you're bound to get bad results. So what does that mean is whatever you do is going to come back in Jupiterian Rashis. So if your deeds are good, you're going to get good karma back. Okay, or the karma phala is going to be good if your deeds are good. Okay, so if something goes wrong with the person, it means that the person is not following dharma. You have to tell him, did you do any adharma? You have to rock back and ask him, did you do something wrong? Maybe you have to go back and correct what's wrong did you do. So the number of stars are 9. This would also mean it's a dharma. Okay, ninth house is the dharma. Facing or looking towards is downwards. So this also confirms that the person has to look upon his own self for anything that goes wrong and has to correct his own self for his future. Okay. So this is the root or the foundation star. If you're standing on adharma, you have to go back onto dharma and do good deeds to get good. Okay. The foundation above is to break, the foundation below is to crush. Why there is break and crush here is because if you see in the Jyeshtha, we have seen that Indra is in the Jyeshtha. Okay, whoever did not listen to the lecture of Jyeshtha, go back and listen to the lecture of Jyeshtha. You have Indra in that. Indra and uh, Indra and these people, the Rakshasas, have done the Kshira Sagar Mathana. We will talk about that, and that is why we have, we have this thing of to break and to crush. Because when you're churning the ocean, you have to apply a force. You have to crush the tides and get your thing going. And the Shakti is Barhana Shakti, the power to destroy, ruin, break. Okay, so I would simply say Moola is like, if you're a math enthusiast, Moola is like differentiation, and this man, Uttara Phalguni, is like integration, because Uttara Phalguni is the god Vishnu or the Krishna. who is trying to get everything into him. He unites and stands upright, and you have the Vishwarupa, right? Vishwarupa is, you can see it in two places. One is in the Shravana, and the other one is in the Uttara Phalguni, wherein he stands upright, gets everything into him, and he becomes the Vishwa. Okay. Whereas Moola is breaking up everything. I mean, you're breaking Vishnu into parts and looking each other separately. Okay. So what this is good for? This is good for material success. Okay? You are trying to beat the competition and you're trying to win because you are actually not uniting yourself into the Paramatma, but you are seeing yourself as a separate entity. I mean, we'll talk about Uttarashadha as well in a few days. Two nakshatras later to this. I mean, today is Moola. You have the next week is Purvashadha, and the third week is Uttarashadha. A little bit of traits of Uttarashadha as well come into Moola, wherein you are trying to be a different entity and the world is completely different. So how do you look at it is if you have the I self in you, what would you do? You would try to earn money. Okay. If you have you would try to earn money by competing with others. Okay. Or you're trying to steal food from somebody else. Okay. So it does not literally mean that you go into a shop, you would steal something and get back into your bag or something like that. I don't mean to say so. However, when you have the I, me, myself growing in you, what you would keep doing is it's me. I have to get more money. Okay. So the self-centeredness that we usually talk about, that self-centeredness is very good in Moola. You can make use of it correctly. As long as you do that, you have to ensure that you are on the right path and following the righteousness. Okay, because Ravanasura or the Hiranyakashipa could have said, "Look, I have reached up to this height. Let me stop here. Let me not disturb the social order. Okay, let me not disturb the other people. I have learned so many shastras. I have got so much of money and so many women already with me. Why should I be doing this?" Had they thought about that thing, either the Ramanasura or the Hiranyakashipa, for that matter, any of these demons who were slayed by Vishnu could have remained longer, like the children of Hiranyakashipa, who is Prahlada, and the grandchild of, the child of Hiranyakashipa is Prahlada, and the grandchild of Prahlada is Mahabali. Even today in Kerala, people celebrate that the Mahabali, is going to come back after this Manvantara into the next Manvantara. So our people, our culture as a Hindu society or Indian society, whatever name you would want to give it to, we have never said demons are bad and the deities are good. Both are beings. Okay, that's how we look at people. Both would have both the plus and the minus. Only the Paramatma is Nirguna. I mean, if you think Krishna is the sole Paramatma, I mean, in the Vaishnava philosophy, or if you think Shiva is the sole Paramatma, then he is formless. Then he is gunaless. He does not have any characteristics. You cannot define him. So all that stuff. When you start to define him and when you start to give him a form and you start to look at that, it means that there is some guna for him. So there is either a sat guna or a rajoguna or a tamoguna. Same is people. Okay, we are all actually one. When we all unite and stand upon one thing, we all become Paramatma. Okay, and when we are all separated, we all are individuals. That is the sutra. Okay. So the final desire is to find the root of all creation. Okay. In this context of astrology, the root of all creation is Shravana. Okay. That is from where the whole thing starts, or the Vishnu. Because Rudra and Vishnu are all the same. Okay. So if you think Arudra is the start of the creation, even that is right to an extent. But mostly what is accepted is the Shravana, is the root of the creation. So people are going towards the Shravana. Okay. This may not be useful right now in the prediction thing. However, anything is connected to Shravana. That is how it works. You know why it is connected to Shravana? Because all the beings are connected to the 10th house. They have a karma. They have a karma. That's why they are being born. Okay. So they are all connected to the Shravana. But if you connect it to Arudra, this answer cannot be done. However, for the 10th to happen, the third has to work. The third will be the initiator. Somebody has to do a karma. He has to start something. So he does something. So for him to do something, he has to, let's suppose somebody has to walk, then he has to get up. So that getting up thing is the Rudra. Okay, Arudra. Hope I'm making some sense. I mean, do not think how these will be useful in the prediction. They will be useful because if you can apply, I mean, if you can conceptually understand how each nakshatra is actually linked to the other one, slowly you'll get to a point wherein you know how each nakshatra is connected to the other one. When you have planets, uh, it automatically comes to you. You need a little practice and patience. So we have a couple of stories. Let's get into stories without wasting more time. So you have a mantra is Nirutyai Moola Varhini Pratibhanjantah Parastat Pratishrananto Avastat. I've picked up the keywords from it. One is Nirruti. Nirruti or the Nirruti, Nirriti is also is fine because it's जो ऋतु में जो रा है वो रा है. So the demon deity is Britra, or it can be the demon deity can be Hiranyakashipa, the demon deity can be Ravanasura. You name it, okay? Any demon uh, can be because deity is a very loosely said word for us. Do not confuse between the deity and the demon. So any being can be a deity or a demon, or it can be both. Okay, because if you look at Rudra, when he is trying to destroy everything, he becomes a demon. When he is in a very peaceful mood, he becomes a deity. Okay. Same is the case with people as well. So as long as we are calm and composed, we are more like a deity and we are more angry and going onto the path of destruction, then we are on to the demon side. It's just the same. So what does nirrati mean? So it's a combination of two words. It's a combination of two words, nir and rati. If you have listened to the lecture of Chitra, go back and listen to the mantra of Chitra if you do not remember it. I'll say it right now. Indrasya Chitra Ritam Parastat Satyam Avastat. Indrasya Chitra Ritam Parastat Satyam Avastat. So Indra or the deities rule the Rita and the demons rule the Nirrita. Okay, what does Rita and the Nirrita would mean is Rita is a social order. Okay, it means that an arrangement of a thing, arrangement of a system. Let's suppose you walk into somebody's home, you walk into the first room or the hall we call it. Okay, in the Indian side we have a living room or a hall. The first room you have a sofa, you have a TV, okay, placed in a manner. So, for example, if the sofa is onto the west side, you have a TV on the east side because you sit on the sofa, you watch the TV. Okay. So, if you have a sofa on the south side, you have a TV on the north side. So, this is one arrangement, the other is another arrangement. Okay. There's nothing wrong in having a TV onto either the west or the east or to the south or anywhere else. Give me a second, please. Sorry. So there's nothing wrong in having TV onto one side and sofa onto the other side, or maybe having north east. I mean, sorry, north south east west. Either way you keep it, it's fine as long as you're able to watch the TV. So assume that east and west is done by Indra, south and north is done by Niruti. So it means that these people are, when they walk into a place, when they come back home, right? Let's suppose a man is Niruti. Okay, he's born in Moola Nakshatra, not necessarily having the moon there. Most likely, if the Lagna Lord Dispositor in the Moola or the Lagna Cusp falls in the Moola, I have seen that when he comes back from office, right, usually men are tired after coming from the office. Most people do not bother to check what actually the arrangement is. The moment this man, the Moola man, walks into the home, he would actually arrange everything. There would be an arrangement. He wouldn't like it. He would actually move this table to the other side, because he wants certain arrangement. He only follows that. If somebody moves his chair from there to here to there, even by an inch, he would correct that inch thing, sit on that chair, remove his shoes, neatly keep them the place they have to be kept, and then walk in, do some. I mean, it's an arrangement wherein he does the same thing day in and day out without failing to do that. It's the same routine, okay? It's like a military thing. Like you call him up at 8:50, just for the sake of saying something. If you call him up at 8:15, he would say, "Look, I am having dinner." And in the next 2 minutes, the dinner will be over. Okay? So he could be like that. That is one way of an arrangement. The next way is completely unorganized. Okay, he doesn't have a proper way of doing anything. Everything is chaotic, completely disorganized person, or complete overly organized person. This is what you can see, because you're talking either of a person who is like a Ravana, or like a person who was a Mahabali or a Prahlada, because these two people have actually gone over than the Indra. That is why Vishnu himself had to walk down onto the earth like a dwarf, and he had to push this man, the Mahabali, down into the Patala Loka, or to the nether worlds. Okay, because they were so good at doing things much better than the Indra. And Vishnu is a Surapakshapati. That means who was biased towards the deities. Okay. All right. So these people are either very organized or very unorganized, to say it in a single word. Okay. Mula Varhini is something that shines from the roots. Okay. So this man, how his life would depend on is the kind of coaching or teaching or learning that he would get at his childhood. So Moola is dependent on the childhood, because that's where the Moola is. That's where the root is. Okay. Because if the root is good, you're gonna get a good tree. So the root is the childhood. If the parents were good, they could teach him good manners and things like that. These people are going to flourish well. However, there are a few exceptions, because even if you teach daily, let's suppose you have two people, Moola people, you keep teaching them daily, only one could be doing the organized way, the other could be so very unorganized with the combinations that you have in the stuff. So sometimes, yes, you have the other way around. So the person may not be very organized person, but what I have seen is 85 to 90% of the people are more organized than not, than not. So Moola, I have seen the people are highly on the cleanliness. They want everything to be in order. They don't want the clothes to be here and there. All the almiras all the cupboards have to be very clean, neatly placed. Everything has to be neatly there. Anything goes off, they are very unhappy. They will actually do it for themselves. That is their thing. No matter how much well you organize it, they will not like it. They'll say, "Look, this chair is not in the right place. Let me just move this once again and keep it." Okay. I don't know. How can you call? I mean, this is called as like obsession, right? Onto the obsession side. Okay, that is Moola Varhini. Removes the root cause of the problems. I think most of you people are educated, so you understand what a root cause is. So I don't have to explain much on that. If you don't know what a root cause is, then you talk to anyone who's working on the ISO thing. They know what is the root cause, or maybe anybody on the engineering side would know what a root cause thing. So they're trying to remove what is the main reason for a failure so that they can be successful. Okay. And that's what even Hiranyakashipa or Ravana did. If you try to understand them, when these people tried to do something, they always had a hindrance to reach up to the level of Indra. So they went on and asked the Maharshis, what is wrong with us? Why are we not able to, go up to the chair of Indra? Then the Maharshi would say, look, these people are devotees of Vishnu. Try to go and have a darshan. But he'll not give you darshan just like that. You have to be very, 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 devoted. That is when Vishnu is going to come up. Otherwise, you will get tapasya can bring you Shiva and Brahma. It is not easy to do a tapasya for Vishnu. Okay, you understand the Vaishnava philosophy. It's a lot easier. Why it is difficult? It does not mean that Vishnu is greater than Shiva. I'm not making that comment because the jobs of the people are different. Okay. Now you have pratibhanjantaha. That means somebody who is breaking everything into pieces. Okay. What does breaking everything into pieces would mean is, let's suppose you got a big contract. What would you do? You have 10 departments, right? One would be an engineering department who's working on a design. The other would be, let's suppose you have to build a car. It will be a lot simpler. Somebody has to make an engine, and then somebody has to make tires. Somebody has to make the body. You have to assemble everything. So you are breaking up everything into parts, building them up, and then bringing them together. That is Moola. Okay. So you have a problem. What they do is they break it into pieces. Let's break this problem into pieces and look at it and then unite all together with a solution. Because unless you break it apart, it's difficult to understand where the problem is. Because you have to go into it. For going into it, you need to break it. Or in simple terms, it's called as differentiation for the math enthusiasts. Okay, differentiation. Pratishranantu. Pratishranantu would mean the pratibhanjanta. I forgot to tell you one more thing. Is that if somebody comes up and tells them, look, this is what is the thing, they'll not believe it. Okay, because Ravana or anybody else, when they were told that, look, there is a guy called Vishnu who sits all across above, on top of everything. That is Vishnu. And the only way to reach him is just bhakti. You cannot say, hey, look, Shiva, I've done tapasya, give me this. No, he's not going to come like that. Okay. Vishnu is someone who needs the bhakti thing. So they will not believe. Okay. We're not saying whether bhakti is applicable here or not. I'm not talking about the theism or the atheism. However, the principle that comes out from here is they are not going to believe anything that is just said. They would ask, where are you coming from? Have you heard this line called, where are you coming from? Because this is very usual in English speaking people. Where are you coming from? It means that what is the source of this? What is the sanctity of this? How would I believe what you say? These are typical questions that you would ask. If you say, look, there is no way I can prove it because it's the first I'm originating something. Okay. Let us suppose you take an astrology thing that they are learning. If they come back and question, what is the source? How is that you're doing? How is that you're asking, or how is that you're saying this? What is the source of this? And if I fail to provide, because not everything is written down in the astrology books, certain things come by experience. Okay. So there can be a simple thing because what did the Parashara say? Moola is ruled by Niruti. That's all he said. Everything else we have to decode. Okay. So now, if I say I have done this from Taittiriya Brahmana, then he would say, where is it written in the Taittiriya Brahmana? It is very simple. Pratibhanjanto, Pratishonanto. How do you think this would mean that? Where is the question of asking a question that itself is not coming up here? How would I believe it? Then the only way we can, convince them is show them proof of how do you prove them is that pick 10 horoscopes of Moola and check whether are they doing the same thing or not. Okay, so it's really difficult to to actually provide them proofs because they keep asking more and more and more and more questions, and they want to go deep inside and find that source from where everything originated. Okay, that is what is the Shakti, if you see here, or the final desire to find the root of all creation. Okay, that's why they are breaking everything apart and looking whether you have that thing here. Is this the final thing, or is this the first thing from where everything originated? Is what they are looking at. Okay, they want that one thing, which can give you everything. Solution, one thing for everything. Okay, so pratibhanjanto and pratishrananto. Shrona can also mean hearing. Okay, I think I'm not very sure if I wrote this here. So they ask questions. They'll very keenly listen to what you have answered, and they'll come back with a cross question. Okay, they'll come back. Look, if this is the case, then why is it not like that? Okay, they'll take the words from you, put the same words in a sentence, and they will cross-examine, cross-question, go into the roots of where you're coming from. Okay, this is what is a typical attitude of a Moola person. It's too difficult to actually convince them without facts. Okay. So they need something which is proven. They do not want to work on something which is not proven. Okay. If they say, look, this is a beta version of something, because you get to see beta versions of apps, right? They will never get into a beta version. Okay. They will never invest in something which is unproven. Let us suppose 15, 20 years ago, when the share markets, what is that? SIP came in first, systematic investment plans came in first. Moola would be the last people who would want to get into SIP because they think the share market is a bad thing to invest. Okay, if they think so, just for the sake of debate, I'm saying. If they think so, then you cannot convince him saying, look, SIP is invested for 25 years or 30 years by logic. All the countries have gotten so much. You cannot convince this man. It's impossible. Okay. So they have a particular dharma in their minds. Like if you take Ravanasura, he thinks Shiva is the highest form. There's no more form above it. You cannot have. Okay. Or else our forefather, the Brahma, is the highest form. You can worship both of these people. I have not seen Vishnu, so there is no Vishnu that exists. For confirmation, okay, I'll go into Vishnu Loka and check if Vishnu exists. That's what they have done. And they could not see Vishnu, and they have confirmed that there is no Vishnu. If you look at the Hiranyakashipa story, it will be clearly explained in it. There are movies in the South India. So would be the movies in North India. You find a movie, please watch a movie on the Hiranyakashipa, the Prahlada, Bhakta Prahlada. Watch that movie. You would get a lot of understanding of how Hiranyakashipa behaved. Okay. And you have Pratishrananto can also mean counter-attacking. Okay. Because the Kshira Sagana Manthana, when this was happening, on one side there are deities or the gods. On the other side, there are demons. Okay. So they are churning the ocean using this Mandhara Parvata. And you also have a Vasuki snake tied to it, and they're churning it constantly. Okay. And you can see this man, the Kurma Avatara, okay, the invisible man. Okay, the invisible Avatara is the Kurma Avatara, or the least bothered Avatara is the Kurma Avatara that happened to be in here, the Moola Nakshatra. So we'll also talk about it. Okay, so what these people do is they are attacking, counter-attacking. Okay, however, Nivruti would mean silence. Okay. Niruti would mean silence. Ruti, Ruta or Ruda or Rodana, all this would mean is crying. Okay. Rudra means shouting. Roda, Rudra, Ruta, all these would mean crying, because when the birds, right, you have chirping of the birds. You have chirping of the birds would mean it's called as Ruda. So Nirruta would mean somebody who is not crying or shouting. Okay. These people are hiding emotions. They're not going to show up that they are in a problem. And they are, even if they are insulted or even if they are feeling low, they will not express it to people. They are, I mean, let us suppose even if their ego is hurt, right? You take two people, one is Jeshta and the other one is Moola. A Jeshta person, if his ego is hurt, he's going to shout like mad at you. He's going to yell at you, and he'll make you, look like a joker in front of everyone. The moment you're going to shout on people who have Indra at the start, the Nakshatra Indra at the start, like the Indrasya Chitra has Indra at the start, Chitra has Indra. Same is Indrasya Rohini is Jeshta. So anything that starts with Indra are going to yell, are they going to shout, they're going to cry, they're going to let everybody know that they are insulted. That's why they are making you look like fools in front of everyone. And they would win over. However, Niruti or the Moola people are going to stay low, stay calm. They are not going to express it to 10 people, or they're not going to say to 10 people, look, I've been insulted and crying or nothing, completely emotionless. They just walk out of the scene, and they are not going to talk back to them if they are very deeply hurt. Okay. This is another important trait. Now let's move into the Ksheerasagara Mathanam. The Manthan or the Mathanam is all the same. So Vishnu's directions came in, wherein when gods went and talked to Vishnu, look, Vishnu, we need something little more than the demons. Right now, we are equal. So we have to find a way wherein the gods are better than the demons. Okay. So you do not have to think that Rakshasas and the Devatas are good and the Rakshasas are bad. No, it's not like that. Both are equal at one point in time. Devatas became greater by having the nectar or the Amrita. Okay. So they went into Vishnu Loka and asked Vishnu. So Vishnu said, you guys go and do the Samudra Manthan. So that is the churning of the ocean. But you need another partner on the other side with a team who can churn the ocean for you, because it's a big ocean and you need a large team and you're not enough to churn it on both the sides. So what you do is you go and talk to these demons or the Rakshasas, convince them, get them into the work, have the nectar, and then betray them at the last moment. This is what Vishnu has said. Okay. Now you have three or four takeaways from this. That is, the natives, the demons, or the Moola Nakshatra people are going to partner. As I said in the previous sentence, that when they are deeply hurt, they are just going to walk out of the scene and never will talk to him or never will partner with him once again. However, if there is a bigger cause that has to happen, like when they look at a higher prosperity thing or a higher level of life, then they would compromise themselves and can partner with anyone, even with the people who once betrayed them. So these people got partnered with deities, despite the fact that they know that the gods may actually, betray them at the last moment. Okay. Now we are on the Rakshasa side. Today we're talking about the Moola Nakshatra. So for the moment, we have to think that Rakshasas are the gods. So do not think the gods are the gods anymore. For now, what happened is the greater objective of the nectar came in, and these people have churned the ocean. So they, when Moola, and you see the Vasuki, okay, where is the Vasuki's head or the hood here? The hood is onto the side of the Rakshasas. When the churning was happening, Vasuki was spitting a lot of venom and lot of fire, right? Because such a big snake, and it is actually getting very tired. The moment the snake is getting tired, it is spitting a lot of venom. And all that venom the Rakshasas had to take, because they are more stronger people. Devatas right away said, look, we are very weak people. We are not physically very strong, right? You are physically more stronger people. So let the hood be onto your side. Okay. and they had to actually take a lot of venom and lot of stress while the Samudra Manthana was happening. Okay, so these people are going to sustain a lot of issues. If somebody, let us suppose there are two people about 20, 25 years ago, two people have been like doctors, right? The Moola guy would also start the journey at the same place. Maybe the other guy will also start the journey at the same place, but the Moola guy is going to face more obstacles as he is walking through the career path, while the other fellow could be walking pretty easily or getting easier promotions, or the life path is a lot easier because the counterparts of the Rakshasas were Devatas who had a better life than them, right? Their contemporaries are much better than them. One good thing about these people is they are physically and mentally very strong people. So they get a problem, they stand up very easily and they can fight. Okay, but they're not going to shout. That is also a very good thing. However, if they are hurt or if they are, you know, for a person like me, if the opposite fellow, if I do not know if he's hurt or not, it becomes very difficult for me because I cannot make out. I'm just saying it for a practical example. So if I cannot make out, it becomes very difficult. It can happen for anyone. So the only problem with the Moola people is if they'll not show emotions, and it's difficult to know if they're hurt or not because you call them for a party. They'll shake hand and go away and never come back once again if you call them, and you will not know the reason because by the time you will call them once again after 6 months, you will not even remember what went wrong about 6 months ago when they were called upon for the first time. Okay. So be careful with these people. So if you're calling them, ensure that you're not insulting them or you keep them in good books. They will do a lot of work for you because Rakshasa would mean, there are sayings in South Indian languages wherein we can say he's a work Rakshasa. That means he works like a devil. Okay, you can say that, right? He works like a devil. It means that he constantly works. Nobody says him, he works like a deity. No, because deity doesn't work. You know that. Deity would just sit, right? You can just make a work like a devil would mean he's working very hard. So these people work very, very hard. A lot of people think, these people are sitting on a chunk of money or could be rich or anything. If they are rich by chance or anything, they would think it's just luck by chance. No, it's not like that. They have actually suffered a lot in life, and it's not an easy life for them. So Kurma Avatara is one more thing which nobody cares for, or nobody regards, or nobody respects it. Okay, so same is the case with these people, Niruti or the Moola. Their actions are not actually praised, or they're not much appreciated in the society for whatever they have done. People would keep complaining, look, you could have done that as well because you're capable, but will not appreciate for what they have done. This is one more difficult thing for them. So, uh, so natives have to because the poison came out first, and then the final thing, the nectar came out during the churning of the ocean. The natives have to wait for a long time before the final fruit or final prosperity comes into their life, or whatever they would want. They'll have to wait for a longer time. And most of the times, if there are large things that are happening, large contracts or large things that are promised for them, they may at last receive a betrayal from the other party because greed can actually get them down. They know that, so it is very difficult to actually partner them into something. They will not become a partner easily. Okay, but if they get into greed or something, they may become, and at last they may get betrayal. Okay. However, they are mostly noble and understanding and doesn't shock. All right. So as I said, Raksha is the word for Rakshasas. So from there, the Rakshasa word has come, meaning that they are protectors. they are going to protect their people and they are going to protect themselves. Okay. So the best way is to team up with them. Moola, you have to team up with them. The best way is you get into his team, then it is a lot easier for him rather than standing on the other opposite side of the team. He's a genius, okay, and that means he's more learned because if you see between Rama and Ravana, who has studied more shastras? Ravana has studied more shastras, not the Rama. Okay, uh, same is the case with any of the demon you take. The demons are more educated, more knowledgeable uh, than their contemporaries who were called as deities or anything. Okay, so next is the hate thing, right? When they were hating Vishnu, what you can understand from here is they may be hating their mother or completely loving their mother. So there are people of Moola Nakshatra. As I say, Moola Nakshatra would mean somebody who is having his Lagna Cusp or the Lagna Lord Dispositor in the Moola would have more traits than just having the moon. Sometimes, yes, even for the moon here can work because if you have the moon, I'm talking about the mother now. So for Moola natives, either they love their mother very much or they, they keep cursing the mother. My mother had not been supportive of me. She has always been did not care about me much. My other siblings got more care. These are the kind of statements that the Moola can say. Okay, so jealous of siblings. This is a very common thing here because the demons and the Rakshasas, I mean the Rakshasas and the Devatas were jealous of each other. Okay, they were siblings, right? Because they were born from the same father. Diti is the mother of the Rakshasas. Aditi is the mother of the Devatas. So the father is the same. So, but they were jealous of each other. So there can be jealousy between siblings. I've seen this mostly for male natives. For female natives, what happens is the jealousy happens between the husbands. I mean, husbands and their brothers, right? I mean, to say the husband and his brother. Don't take me wrong here. Brothers or the sisters, the siblings of the husband and the husband himself. So there can be ego issues. I mean, at the outset, if you ask them, look, they may. I mean, nobody would want to admit that he's jealous of someone. So he would say, "No, my brother is actually jealous of me." Okay, just leave it there. Do not try to say that. Look, you could also be jealous. Don't make such statements because they wouldn't like it. Who would want to admit that he's a jealous person? Nobody would do that because everybody thinks that he's a good person. So adapting to situations. This is one more excellent thing that Moola is good at. Rakshasas are Kamarupas, right? They can, Ravana's life is there, Ravana is there. He can get into anything, any form. He can become an insect, or he can become a dwarf, or he can become anybody. I mean, he can just change his form and go into anything. And so, what does it mean is they can adapt very well to the situations. And what is important for the Rakshasas is following the Guru because this happens to be the first nakshatra in the Sagittarius thing. And also for Scorpio as well, what we have talked about all through is that Scorpio, if you take the ninth lord moon debilitates there. So if somebody is not listening to the Guru or the father, okay, then there is a problem both in the Scorpio and in the Sagittarius. However, most of the times the fathers are a little weak, okay, for whatever reasons. Could be health, could be money, or father has got married twice. This can be one reason. The first wife died, the second wife came, and it's mostly her authority in the house. Or father is only married once. However, the mother is very dominative and doesn't allow the father to talk. Could be anything. In both the cases, you can see in the Scorpio and in the and in the Sagittarius, you can see these traits at least to a little extent, like the Aslesha we talked about. Both in Aslesha, you can see very highly. Also, in case of Jyeshtha and Moola, you can see this to a large extent. Some look I've not mentioned it here because as they just strike my mind, I'm just trying to explain them here. Okay. So the listening to the guru, because father is the first guru. So listening to the guru happens to be one of the good things or the important thing that one has to do here. So Rakshasas always fought with the demons. With the deities. So they always fight with people of a higher cadre, or at least of their equal stature. So they're not gonna fight with cheap people or somebody very below them. This is very good point. One more thing is that Moola 90% of the times refrains from any bad habits. They do not want themselves to indulge into smoking, drinking, none of the bad habits that they would want to build upon 90% of the times. However, if they build into, or if they indulge into one of those, it's very difficult for them to actually leave it. And what typically happens is, I know a few people wherein, if he's a Moola active fellow, and if he likes to drink, he would ensure that he cuts up all the ties with the people who are not drinking, because what he would think is this man doesn't drink, he's wasting all his life. Okay, the life is to enjoy. Why is he not enjoying? That's his dharma. Okay, so the Moola people run based on what their dharma is. So if they think something is right, they'll keep doing that, and they do not change very easily. They're very stubborn to change their dharma. Okay, because Hiranyakashipa or Ravana strongly believed that Vishnu did not exist. Vishnu is not there. Okay, that they have strongly believed. Although the fact is Vishnu always existed. Okay, so when fine, let's move on. I think we will lose time otherwise. Okay, Rita Nirrita. So Rita would mean truth, Nirvita would mean lies. So the person is constantly afraid of people who are talking lies, or this person himself is talking a lot of lies. Both can be there, okay? Do not think Nirvita means the person is going to talk only lies. No, it's not like that. Either the person is towards the truth or towards the lies. Okay. So it's just like the same thing which I talked about in the Chitra. The person may not like people who are talking lies. So maybe for once or twice he would pardon them. But if the native thinks that this person keeps repeating lies, keeps repeating wrong things, he'll cut ties with them. Okay. So this can happen to an alcoholic as well. I mean, an alcoholic can cut ties with people who are not alcoholics. This can also happen. And a non-alcoholic can cut ties with all the alcoholics because he thinks that is not right. Both can happen, both ways can happen. Okay. That's why I say so they have a strong prejudice, okay, and that prejudice they're not going to leave. They believe what they strongly believe. That's it. You cannot change them. For 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 you to change them, you need to tutor them for days and years. That is when they would think, okay, this maybe I can look into it. Okay, that's how their roots are strongly there. Okay, so I mean, take an example of this. If the person is very used to doing seventh lord in the 12th house or seventh lord in the sixth house would be a bad thing. It would be very difficult for any astrologer to go back and tell him, look, seventh lord in the 12th house or seventh lord in the sixth house may not necessarily give you only a bad thing. It can also be a good thing. For that moment, he may still just nod his head just for the sake of not disappointing the new guy who's teaching it, but it becomes very difficult for them to actually digest this real truth. Okay. Okay. Extremely devoted to what they believe in. That's what I have just said. And they would keep arranging everything wherever they go. These people, if you have a function when people were we did not have event managers, right? When we did not have event managers, somebody has to do a wedding or something at home. What we would do, we would call upon all the relatives, and एक एक को एक एक चीज सौंप दिया जाएगा, भैया तुम ये काम करो, you do this is what we distribute, right? I mean, you handle the cash bag. You just sit here, just have a look of the gold, keep looking at the gold and the saris and everything. You are the in charge of this area. Okay, you are the in charge of that area. We keep distributing work when till the time we did not have event managers. Even despite the fact that there are event managers, even now a lot of work will be there with the family when there is a wedding or any for that matter any function. These people, Moola people, are very good at organizing them because they have a very clear-cut checklist of what has to come after the other. Because this is Ruta, right? Ruta is the order. So they have a clear-cut order of everything. They carry a clear-cut picture of how much they have spent, how much they have earned. They have a clear-cut idea of everything. They have a note, and at the end of the wedding, if you ask them how much you have spent, they would say 40 lakh, 50,000, 2,820 rupees, 20 paisa. I mean, the kind of math or the accounts they keep really applaud. You have to applaud them. Mm, right. So I've already said all this. We've already talked about all these things. So let's come into traits. You have These people are largely misunderstood, actually. A lot of people at the start of their life misunderstand them because these people are more strict, or as I said, the prejudice that they have in their minds. They believe what they believe very strongly. So they're not going to change their opinion just for the sake of somebody else. And they believe in it strongly. So let's suppose somebody is a very religious man, does a puja, everything in the morning. No matter what happens, they do their puja and go out. Okay. Somebody is an alcoholic. Somebody, is has that habit of everyday drinking. No matter what happens, even if they're in the hospital, they would think, "Let me drink two pegs." That's how they are. And moreover, they are very eager, active, because Rakshasas are like, work devils, right? So they keep working like devils. They cannot sit idle. They keep, they always have a purpose in life. They're very clear what has to be done at what point in time. They keep doing that religiously. This is what they're very good at. So the other thing what I have seen with Moola is they become the center or the Moola. Because after marriage, right, usually in, I don't know if we can say this usually or not. In some cases, what happens is people get married to known people. One way is, like if you take my example or anybody's example, my wife will be known to one of my relatives, right? One of my relatives would know her, and they would, in an arranged marriage thing I'm talking about, they would recommend, look, there is a girl, you have a boy, so you both can get married. I know both these people. That's the usual way of getting married in any place. I think all across India, this is how marriages happen, most of the marriages. Uh, these people, right, they get to marry completely strangers. Completely strangers. We do not know who they are. None of the relatives of the boys' side would know the girls' side. None of the relatives of the girls' side would know the boys' side. And there will be new relationships establishing, right? कोई किसी का भतीजा बन जाएगा शादी के बाद ना, ultimately the relationships, new relationships would grow in. And these people are the center point for them. So because you are an uncle to me, because the bride is so this way related to me. Okay. So you become an uncle to me. That's how we can talk about the relationships in the family. Okay. Excellent understanding on Shastras, Itihasas. They also have some occasional interests, like, Ravana was a very good singer, very good astrologer. There is a Ravana Samhita as well, which talks mostly about the nakshatras. All these introduction topics and everything, these all things come from the Ravana Samhita. Okay, so they are very good at the higher education level. They may be averagely doing at the school level, and they credit everything to their gurus. They're very happy that they have got very good gurus, and they're very loyal to their gurus. Okay, and constantly on research, they want to do something. They do not want to sit idle. Even if they come back home, they'll help the wife or keep everything in order at home. Maybe the wife will not like it. Why do you change my order? If the wife is a Chitra and this man is a Moola, there is a constant problem because this man arranges something and the wife rearranges it. Okay, the same thing happens, both of them. Okay, and the compromise is on the Moola side. See, Chitra is not going to agree for a change because it's an Indra rule. So the compromise happens with the Moola. The best thing is Moola always is on the compromise. It's a good thing actually, because if you know how to compromise with life, a lot of things are solved. You don't shout. You have a clear understanding of how to lead a life. That's why I like Moola people very much because they know clearly that this happens this way. There's no point in shouting. Okay. Okay. They support their family, they support their siblings, they support the community and everything. There's a lot of chaos in their lives because there are a lot of unexpected turns and twists. Because what these people have thought when the Samudra Manthana was happening is that look, everything is in order. We're gonna get the Amrita and everybody will be drinking Amrita. We all are gonna become Amar. I mean, we all are going to become immortals, right? But that did not happen for these people. So suddenly a twist came in wherein Mohini came in and betrayed everyone. And they dislike bias. This is one more thing which I can say, vouch for. Because Mohini was a very biased woman, or Vishnu is a very biased person, is what they think. So Vishnu has openly claimed himself to be a Surapakshipati, somebody who supports only the deities, not the demons. Okay, so they do not like such people. They want a balanced person. That's why they have taken up Sukracharya, who represents the Libra. The sign of Libra is balance. Okay. It is very difficult to actually deceive them. Okay. They they you cannot deceive them unless it's you get them onto greed thing and you tell them, look, if you do this, you are going to get so many crores of rupees. Okay. That is when maybe they'll, because it has to be over which they are thinking as a number. The number can vary from people to people depending on their current net worth. So maybe you have to talk about 10,000 times of their current net worth. That is when maybe you can get into something and deceive them. Okay. So as I said, these people are epicenter, the first house which we're talking about. If you're talking about the first house, it means that the first house cusp or a first Lord's dispositor is in Moola. The Lord of first house being in Moola can also give you a result, but it's little less. So the first thing comes in, the Lagna comes into Moola. You have stability and instability in life. What does this stability and instability would mean is lot of things are happening at once. Okay, it can so happen that let us suppose they have a plan to do something on a particular date, right? On this same day, there will be like three, four works that they have to do, and the deadline is on that day only. That is how their life is. Okay. Otherwise, they're gonna miss the bus. That is how the life of Moola is. They always have deadlines in such a way that all the deadlines are falling on the same day, and they have too much work to do on the same day. Maybe they'll sit idle for a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then they have again a huge sort of work that they have to complete So what they do is whatever can be doable, they always do that in advance so that suddenly something comes up in my life. I know that. So let me be prepared. Besides being prepared for it, they always have twists at the last moment. And they are always hurriedly doing things, as I said. Mostly they are hurriedly doing things. Okay? And they are arranging and rearranging things at home or office. Everything will be all right, despite that they're actually arranging things. Okay. So very workaholic, and they know the Shastras, they know the Vedas, they may be good at vocational things like the singing or a painting or something they may have as a they'll not use it for making money, but it's like just an interest. Okay, they may be listening to uh, good music, or they may be learning this one, astrology. Okay. Okay, they also have power tussles. So they are actually constantly looking at a chair or a position that they want to get onto because that's what the Rakshasas wanted. They always wanted the Indra's chair. That is why they are fighting or they are trying to create some chaos in the world. Their problem is that they want to get the chair of Indra. Why are we underprivileged? We are the sons of the same father. Okay, and is their mother Aditi and our mother Diti are sisters. How are we low? How are we lowly qualified? We are actually more qualified because we are more educated than them. Why don't we deserve the pada? Why don't we deserve the chair of the Indra? Okay, this is what their question is. So they are looking at a chair to sit on, and they're not going to get it very soon. They have to wait for a long time because the king Bali has to wait this whole Manvantara, right? This Manvantara means the whole yugas, all the yugas when you put together is called as the Manvantara. Once this whole Manvantara is over, that is when the world is going to get created once again. And that is when this man will rise up in just before the Kali Yuga or just before the Krita Yuga and become the Indra. So he has to, how many years he has to wait? Maybe some lakhs and lakhs of years he has to wait for the position to come. And on the bad habits things, it is good to refrain from indulging into bad habits. If you have bad habits, it means that you're going to go down the drain because they are going to rule over the person. He's going to become addicted to them. Very responsible people about self, family, parents, friends will try to help everyone as long as these people are not disturbed on what their prejudice is. You cannot question or challenge their prejudice. If he thinks alcohol is good because alcohol is a means to enjoy life, if he thinks that, if that is his dharma, okay, he is going to, portray everybody else as fools who is not drinking. Okay, so you cannot go and question him. Why are you drinking? Stop drinking. When he becomes a little elderly, when he becomes like 50 years of age or 45 years of age, when people stop taking advices from people, or when they think they are more matured, so you cannot give them advices. They'll dislike you because that's not what they think is. Look, you are actually a fool. You're not drinking. It is your problem. You actually go get used to drinking. Is what they think. All right. So uh, again, the second house would also show protection thing. So they are very good at protecting their people. They do a lot of work. They are workaholics. So and the truth and lie thing, because second house is about the speech. So somebody is either talking to them lies, they wouldn't like it. Okay, and they would be silently doing their work, will not complain about anyone, and keep doing their work. But most of the time, these people are blamed. You have not done this responsibility. You've done that, not that responsibility, and stuff like that. They are like that. So, as I said, jealousy between the siblings. Okay, there can be jealousy. If the siblings are rich, these people are jealous about them. Okay, So if one sibling is rich, the other will be poor, right? So if you compare them together, so when that happens, there is jealousy. No two siblings are exactly of the same social, what is that, same financial status. So there are usually some differences. Maybe the Moola fellow will not express that. So even if they have differences, they'll say, no, we don't have any differences. No, 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 nothing like that. We're pretty united. No, no, nothing. Because there is Nirruta, right? He's not going to express that. And if on the other side, if there is a Jeshta fellow, he would talk it to the world. Whole world would know there is something wrong with these two brothers. Okay. Uh, okay. Sometimes they can be supportive if they are poor, but there is always that jealous thing from the other side because this fellow is helping, the Mulai fellow is helping, and there is jealousy on the other side. Look, he's helping because he's got money, so I would be jealous of him. That's how the thing is, and uh, he would still be blamed despite helping the sibling. He would still be blamed that look, you could have helped me that way, this way, such things. Very attached to mother, fourth house, or very, very against mother. She will keep bad mouthing. Especially, I've seen this in the women. The lady is a moola, and if she doesn't like her mother, usually they're connected to the mothers, very much connected to the mothers. They may be so connected that they may spoil their married life as well for the sake of mother. Even that I also have seen. However, there are a few people also on the other side I have seen is that this lady would keep bad mouthing about her mother that my mother is not very supportive of me. She helps my other siblings, whereas the truth may not be the same. So it may, as an astrologer, what I would request all of you is do not try to look at whether it is true or not from the people. Okay, look at the horoscope based on what he's commenting. You have to check the horoscope and do not say to the person that, look, what you're saying is wrong. Your mother is a good woman. Even if you tell him that or her that, they're not going to listen because they would tell you 15 instances or 20 instances where their mother has behaved in a certain way which has actually hurt them, and they made an opinion on their mother that became a prejudice right now and sitting over their head. They are not going to listen to you. Okay, not only this nakshatra, people will come with some prejudice. If they have a complaint about a person, they are not going to listen to you. So there's no point in actually explaining them or telling them, look, your brother is a good guy or your mother is a good guy. I always felt that there's no point in actually talking about it. Maybe you have to give them a different remedy without talking about that sensitive thing, which they said you may have to nod your brains or your faces or your heads. uh, Usually blessed with riches. However, there is stability, instability issues. Constantly arranges clothes, chairs, utensils at home because fourth house is home, right? He's trying to, or he's actually struggling for something and he is trying to make peace at home. There is nothing in order at home. Nobody is following a proper rule or something. Everything is chaotic at home. He wants that everything has to, be orderly at home. This can be an aspiration of the person. Okay, it's impossible to actually put everything up here because there will be planets and things like that. As in when I remember about some horoscope, I'm actually adding that here. That's how I'm doing. So fifth house, same thing, grandfather, children, they will be obedient. They'll talk very, very less and work more. They're not shouting, they're very helping, and all that stuff which we have talked about. Or they may not have male children. They may have, lacking male children. Okay. But how do you do that? You need to look at the D7, the Saptamsha has to be looked, and then only a confirmation can be given. So even if you ignore that male children thing here on only look at the D7 thing, still also it's fine. enmity with cousins, jealous and highly dominative enemies. Okay, because the if Moola is on this side, the other side will be the Indra, right? This is Niruti, and the other side will be Indra. So usually, the natives are getting jealousy from the other side. Okay, the other person is feeling jealousy, or the brother or the other sibling is actually jealous of this native. Seventh house, native and wife are loggerheads and dominating each other. This also can happen in Moola. However, it's very secretive. Okay, they are actually fighting on the ego. In the Jeshta, if that happens, if the seventh, Lord goes, the dispositor goes into seventh into Jeshta, the difference is it will be known to the world that there is a problem with these people. If it's in the Moola thing, uh, 90% of the times, unless something else gets connected to Chitra or Jeshta, 90% of the times we don't know that there is a problem actually, running, um, or the native and wife are quarreling. We will not get to know that as outsiders. Okay. And it takes a little longer time than what the native anticipates that this has to end. So this is more a neutral nakshatra for marriage. Usually the marriage is very good, not a problem, because Moola actually compromises a lot. Okay. But there is an ego thing that keeps constantly running. And if the Moola happens to be the male and the wife is something else, whatever it is, because the male when he compromises, right, it is more difficult for him to actually accept that situation in a predominantly male dominated society we live in even today. So spirituality and materialism, wife's family could be dominating and jealous. Okay. This can be one thing. Or wife's family is actually getting compromised because of the native. It can be either way. If the native is represented by the Indra, you have to look for the combinations with the native and then look at the eighth house. So maybe the wife's family is actually being dominated by the native, and maybe the native is jealous of them. It can be either way. Okay. So ninth house, it's a very good thing. The person owes everything to his guru. Native is blessed by his father, would like to please him always. Okay. Tenth house, struggling to find the guru. This can also happen because tenth house is the Saturnine trait, so takes longer for Saturnine things. So this is one anticipated thing is maybe he is difficult. It's difficult for him to find a guru, and because he's looking at a person who's the best. Okay, that can also be the because the the demons have spent a lot of time before they got a guru. And the other thing is these people are so good at materialism and so good at spiritualism. All their life they are very confused. Or most of the times they're confused whether to be in the spiritual side or onto the material side if they have a confusion because of a lot of planets on the Libran side. Maybe you have Swati, Chitra, Vishakha. These, right? These are the confusing nakshatras. These do not know what actually to do. Chitra, Swati, and Vishakha. These people are not very clear what they have to do. They always keep thinking, "What should I do?" Because I know so many things. So same can be the problem here if more planets or more things also connect towards Libra. So confusion can be there between spiritualism and materialism, or spirituality and materialism. Most times materialism wins. And most of the times what their complaint is nobody hears what I say. Because Nirruti, right? They don't shout. They put all their sentences very softly. They don't emphasize on what they have to emphasize on. Okay. Either they are overly emphasizing on everything, each sentence they emphasize, or they don't emphasize at all anything. So even the kids or people will keep saying, Dad, you have to be clear on what actually you want to say. You keep saying a lot of things, but you have to emphasize on what is important. All right. 12th house is 12th house. What I have seen is the native keep a very good track of the expenses and the income, which is very important these days, right? They have a very great understanding of how much their expenses are, and they try to limit the expenses very much. Okay. All right. So that is all about it. Anybody has any feedback, please let me know.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I have actually my fourth and ninth lords depositor in Moola. I've
Dispositor.
some of pardon,
Dispositor.
sir.
And
Yes.
it's not depositor, it's
Oh, so it's
dispositor.
dispositor. Yeah, sorry, dispositor in Moola.
Okay.
Some of the traits that you said, I could find a general like refrains from bad habits and things for me, right? But I couldn't connect with fourth and ninth lord because that indicates parents, right? So
Yeah, correct. Maybe parents are very soft-spoken people. Is that right?
no, no, so they aren't actually. I'm a Leo Lagna, so fourth and ninth lord in Mars. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're soft,
So
soft
fourth and
spoken.
the ninth lord is
I know
Mars.
from experience. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to look at what are the planets in the Aries
Mm.
and the Scorpio. You are actually looking at it wrongly. Okay,
Oh,
what you
okay.
what you are thinking is fourth and ninth lord placed in the Moola will give me something about my mother and my
No,
father.
the depositor it placed in Aquarius. So
Okay,
Aquarius depositor Saturn is placed in Moola, isn't that correct?
okay, that's
The
fine then.
deposit,
The dispositor is fine. Okay, so you
yeah,
say
the depositor.
dispositor of the fourth and the ninth house is placed in the Moola. Okay, so do you have the habit of rearranging things? It can also show it up to you also, not necessarily your parents.
Uh, no, no, because that falls in my fifth house, no, sir. But you said rearranging is for fourth house.
It can also show from there because
Okay, okay,
fifth house rules the mind, right? It can also show from
correct.
there.
Okay, okay.
And also,
No, sir.
okay, any of the traits that we have talked about.
Yeah, like I mean, refrains from bad habits and things. That's what I said, right? So the generic things I could relate.
Okay.
I could relate and learning astrology
See,
and a couple of
the
things.
Saturn in the fifth house
Mm.
will also aspect your second house. So you
Second
you
house,
must
seventh house. Yes.
so
Mm.
your speech can be a very soft thing. Maybe you are the person who's trying to protect the family. Even from there also it can happen like that. So
Okay.
it can apply to you as well.
Okay. Okay. But I'm also not. I also don't have a soft speech. So
So maybe
I can't.
your second house has Indra in it, right? There is Chitra. Maybe Chitra is actually dominating your second house. Maybe that is the reason you're
Okay.
not.
Okay.
If
Okay.
any of your Jeshta or Chitra is very dominative, the planet in the Moola is not going to work.
Okay.
Okay, if you're Indra, the Satabisha
Uh-huh.
and the Chitra and the Jeshta, all three are Indras. So if these three are very dominating, then you will not find the Saturn to be working
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
this is Niruta, right? There are three Indras and only one demon.
Mm. The fourth and ninth lord, that Mars itself is in Shatabisha. So I don't know if that will have more
So that is Indra, right?
weightage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is eaten
And
away
that's also
everything.
aspecting Lagna. That's aspecting Lagna.
That is gone. So even your mother and father are very dominating because
Correct. Correct.
they are Indras, right? So Indrasya
Correct.
Satamisha is the word.
Mm.
Highly
Mm.
dominating. The moment they have Indra on the other side, the Niruti will not work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or it will
Makes
work like
sense.
the Indra itself. So even the Niruti becomes Diruti. So somebody is actually more shouting and more dominative because Shatabisha is the biggest Indra.
I think all three of us are headstrong in this case. I don't know because maybe Mars is aspecting Lagna, but okay, this makes more sense, I think.
Mars aspecting Lagna does not always mean headstrong, or Sun
Yeah.
aspecting Lagna does not always mean headstrong. Don't take it like that. Okay, they don't work.
Okay. Okay.
They don't work at all. You can't be saying like that. Look at it from this side. If it's connected to the Lagna on the Indra, then
Hmm.
it's more. I mean, and who can be headstrong? Who are more, who are more talented? Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can be
Mm.
headstrong. So you have
Mm.
to see whether it's coming from the talent or it is just
Okay.
like that. It's just
Okay.
like
Okay. Okay.
even Moola can also show domination because in the story you have Indra, right? Because the people
Hmm.
are two sides are one side is Indra and the deities, and the other side is the Rakshasas and their partners, their people. So not necessarily that you have you will have only Niruta. It can be Ruta also.
Okay.
So how would you decide is you have to see the other things like you have the fourth house cusp and you also have the ninth house cusp. You have to add them up, right? And the ninth
Okay.
the Mars went into Satyabisha. So the moment it has gone into Satyabisha, this is a shouting guy. Over.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sir, I have my father have rising first on Moola,
Okay.
and everything is matching. Jealousy between siblings about cars and everything. They have this car, I also want this car, that thing. And in fact, he is a very big achiever in everything, and still
Okay.
he is very strong-minded. Whatever he believes. It's very difficult to change his faith.
Right.
Very difficult. And
Acha.
he is
Sorry, go ahead.
very
Sorry.
active in everything.
Okay.
Very active. He hates laziness, and when we are, he always says, every day you do something new work, add on
Mm.
something value every day. And
Mm.
yes, my grandfather is little weak in health wise also, and money wise too. And he
Mm.
always, my father always do arrangements. He don't like, it's like everything should be according to him.
Correct. Correct.
Uh,
This is the right sentence, huh? Everything should be according to their liking. Otherwise, they'll rearrange the whole thing.
yeah,
Thank you
yes,
for the
yes.
word.
Uh, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
if pen is put, this pen should put it be here only.
Correct.
No, not there, anywhere
Mm.
else. Just like this. And one thing he shouts, he always say, you guys never hear me to us,
Mm.
but he shouts, and he is
Okay.
dominating too,
Okay.
and
So
likes
maybe
to,
maybe his second lord or second cusp or something is getting into the Indra thing or maybe something else. So where is the second lord Disposita?
second house have Jupiter, and that mother thing is also mother. He love hate relationship, I can say.
Okay. With mother there is love hate relation.
12th lord in fourth house, Mars in fourth, and Jupiter in second.
Mm.
Saturn
And
and
where is Saturn?
Saturn, Saturn in seventh house with
Mm.
Ketu, Budh, and Shukra.
Okay, so that may be Pushyami or something. That's why I said so. It can be Ruta and it can be Nuruta also. You have to look at the whole horoscope.
Yes,
It is difficult to say it
yes,
from here,
yes,
but most of the things are matching. That is what you can say. Correct?
Yes, yes. And food side, whatever he likes, he likes. We can't change. If we say it's
That is
affecting
because,
your health,
beta, that is because of the many planets in the Pushyami. Okay, this food is because of the Pushyami. There are planets in the Pushyami, right?
yes, yes,
Pushya.
there are.
Yeah, yeah. So
Ye-
he is very stubborn with the food. That is Pushyami.
Yes, where my mother doesn't like onion and all these things, and he is no, I will not leave anything
Yeah, that
there.
is all push. That is all Pushya. That is all Pushya thing.
Okay. So I too have cusp on ninth house cusp on Moola, and I too arrange things. I also don't like a mess on my
Mm-hmm.
tables, and I constantly arrange. I am constantly arranging things, and
Mm-hmm.
it has to be my way only.
It can be Chitra also, okay? Because there is Ruta in Chitra. So both Moola and Chitra will be arranging things.
Might be.
Okay, so you just have to
But
check whether it is Chitra or Moola. The difference between Chitra and Moola is Chitra is actually very, very, very particular that it has to be like this, uh, more than Moola.
I have rising in Swati Nakshatra,
Mm.
Lagna
Okay,
rising,
okay.
and third house falls on cusp of Moola.
So initiative. So maybe whatever work you start, you will actually start arranging things, and then that's when you'll start. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's
So you have to use everything.
yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Sir, good evening, sir. My daughter has ascendant is Lagna in Purva Bhadra, and her Lagna dispositor as well as Lagna Lord both Jupiter in Moola. Mm, And her problem is not the problem. Actually, the order is, see, if I tell, normally if anyone asks you to, uh, normally everyone will brush their teeth, go for bath, and come out. Her order will be totally different. She does it first. She'll take bath, dress up very well, and then does the brush part.
Right. Okay.
Exactly opposite, and she follows it regularly. And she asks me, why do you do it like that? And who she reverse in reverse asks me, who asked you to do brush first? Is there anything wrong in doing this?
Mm.
And that will be her way of questioning.
Mm. Yeah, constantly questioning. Yeah, that is one more trait we have forgot. Maybe we have to write it somewhere here. Constantly questioning people on whatever if you want to change. Okay.
And if
Maybe
I teach her a
maybe
question,
the second lord is connected to Saturn.
no, sir. Second lord is Mars, Mars in Mrugasira, and
Okay.
its dispositor is in Uttarashara.
Okay. Where is Saturn?
Saturn is in Pubba.
So Saturn is
Saturn,
aspecting. Saturn is aspecting. Right.
no, sir. Saturn is in sixth. No, not expected.
Okay.
And one more is, and if I teach her anything, if I tell her answer is wrong or something else like that, she wants me to explain where it is wrong, what happened, until unless I give the correct process or I pinpointly tell this is the mistake, she doesn't agree. This
Mm.
is what, and she's still young, so I can tell to this extent.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's exact, sir. My father to do this, and he cross checks everything. He don't believe on rumors. Whatever we say once, he will
Correct.
twice, thrice cross check it. And
Correct.
one thing more, he loves to do social work. Might be due to age factor or
Correct.
whatever.
Now, these people will be happy to help anyone. They do a lot of physical work. So people will be happy to call this person because he always extends a hand. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
लोग किसको बुलाएंगे जो आके काम करेंगे ना वैसे लोगों को बुलाएंगे. जो आमतौर पे
Yes,
कोई काम
yes.
ना करे, बस बातें करेंगे, वैसे लोगों को कौन बुलाएंगे? कोई नहीं बुलाएगा।
Yes, he takes responsibility and loves to do work, social works mostly, and form groups.
ठीक, ओके, गुड, more people. Let me go to other people. Some more.
Um, I know 3 generations, but I don't know the grandfather chart, sir. But he has the moon in Moola.
Okay.
So yeah, the thing that I realized is quite calm. They know even though they are right, even though they are wrong, they have a fixed opinions.
Right.
So yeah, they don't express it. If, as you said, the comparison that suits really well. Like if one Ardhra native and Moola native both go through the same situation, both have hurdles. This Ardhra keep complaining all the time, and this Moola guy, he doesn't complain. Even the
Wow.
witnesses,
Yes,
yeah,
that's an excellent comparison. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, the those who witness, they understand that, oh, he is like going through a lot of things. How can be he is so calm? I don't know what they think, what goes in their mind. They're not expressive, first thing. And the second thing is they don't usually complain unless it's they beyond their head or something. And also few things they want it to be in the same order. Like the order of things should be the same. As you said, Rutam,
Hmm.
so I know the grandfather getting up at 2 o'clock, whatever may happen, even if you have 2:15 flight, he has to do puja and get out of the home.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
doesn't care. So that's the thing. That means their daily routine shouldn't be changed. I don't know where his, I guess mostly fourth moon is in Mola, but I don't know the dispositor thing. I don't know his chart exactly because I don't know the rising. And for
Right.
father, it is Scorpio Lagna. And the second Lord Jupiter is in second house in Sagittarius in Mola. He disposits both, I mean, second and fifth, right? He owns second and fifth houses. He is in the
Right.
second house.
Right.
So, yeah, mostly the talking, but he has next Rahu in Purva Shada. I don't know how that affect, but he's very calm. And this order is there, but, and also the second thing is epicenter of the family.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, so and also jealousy between the siblings kind of stuff you said, right? His second dispository is in second house, and
Right.
fifth lord is also in second house. So
Right.
yeah, and his grandfather is very famous. So and that suits. And second thing is jealousy. Like obviously it also common sense. So he he is the epicenter because he does lot, he's very responsible, he does all the stuff. So obviously all the relatives will know. He doesn't talk, he doesn't boast that, oh, I did this for my family, I got the house, I got them, like I changed the status of, he doesn't boast. So he
That's
doesn't
what
brag about what he done. So obviously relatives will respect him.
that's what I said. So we'll be very silently doing his work and will not complain about siblings, etc. at any time.
Yeah, he doesn't complain. He always want to, even though, but we could see the jealousy side of the sibling,
Correct.
like now and then, because he's that she is not getting the same
Hmm.
respect or something like that. So, and also want to dominate or showcase that, oh, I am greater than him. So when they meet, all the relatives come to see him. When she goes, no one comes. So like that. So these things happen as if everyone respects. It surely portrays outside like, oh, everyone likes him, kind of
Correct.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. That's his matching. And uh, uh, and fixed ideas, as you said,
Rigidity.
it's yeah, they don't change.
Correct.
So yeah, these things is in the father. And the son, as you said, they don't complain at anything. Even the son is growing up, it's very interesting. Usually kids complain, kids shout, or kids throw tantrums, but the kid shows so much maturity that even though he feels a lot of pressure or somebody teased in the school, he doesn't cry.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's something very interesting. He doesn't cry even at home if he's under so much. Even the parents, if the parents keep nowadays generation kids, if parents are keeping saying something, they get back to the parents.
Correct.
But he will bear until the saturation comes. Then until he boils up, he keep quiet. Then he says one word, and he goes out of the room. So for him, the kid, the fourth and ninth lord, as you said, he is in Gandanta, Moola, 0 degrees 45 seconds. And the
Okay.
dispositor Jupiter is in Anuradha, but they both exchange. But a lot of planets in Sagittarius, along with the Mars, is the Leo Lagna. So these things are matching, sir, second and fifth. So I could observe that. And he has a fifth dispositor, so his grandfather is also famous. And yeah, the fifth lord thing, the son. So this is 3 generations, I could see that.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else with any feedback? Okay. Let's break then. Thank you so much for the patience listening to me. Thank you. Let's meet next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.